back to Marvel Live here at New York Comic Con 2014, brought to you by Marvel Contest of Champions. My name is Ben Morse. I am the editor of Marvel.com, and we are here with an interview that me and my friend Blake have been waiting literally the whole weekend to do.
Thank you.
How are you? We've shook hands like 4 times. I'm like freaking out.
Here's the 5th time, right?
Fifth
there.
time.
There you go.
Please introduce yourself, sir, and tell us why you're here.
My name is Cary Elwes, and I'm here to promote my book that I wrote about the making of The Princess Bride. It is called, As You Wish, Inconceivable Tales from the Making of The Princess Bride.
Great title, great book.
Thank
Excited
you.
to read about it. What inspired you guys to do this book?
Well, you know, it's been over 25 years since we made the film, Ben, and myself and the rest of the cast always get asked, you know, was it as much fun to make the film as it looked? And I always tell them it was more fun. You know, and it's hard to pinpoint one moment or one scene to share with the fans. So I thought, why not try and share with them just how much fun it really was, the entire film, and put it all down on paper before my memory started to fail me, you know? So that's what we did.
Why do you think the movie has never died?
Well, it was mostly dead when it came out, ironically, Blake. The film had a modest reception, ironically, and it didn't really find its feet or an audience until the cable market and the VHS market took off. So I remember I was about 10 years after the movie came out. I was in a restaurant, and a waitress was taking my order, and I was ordering like a hamburger or something, and she said, "How do you want that cooked?" And I went, "Medium rare," and she said, "As you wish." And that was the first time I'd heard it. And I was, you know, wonderfully surprised. And from that day onwards, the film had a life again. So I think I can speak on behalf of the whole cast and the filmmakers that we all feel unbelievably blessed that this film that we thought would never be seen again now has this huge audience.
I think it's crazy for people like us to hear that, because growing up, it was already legendary. It was already, and actually, this was a point of contention that my wife had never seen it, and I had to show it to her a couple of years. I was like, "We're sitting down right now."
Oh, awesome!
And she loved it, and it was great. But yeah, it's become a cultural touchstone now. So it's hard to imagine a time when it wasn't.
Believe me, there was a time.
Yeah, there was a time
when nobody knew who Wesley was. No, it was incredible. I call it the gift that keeps on giving. You know, it's the kind of film that whole families can sit down and watch together. I've met generations, you know, grandparents, parents, kids, grandkids who said, you know, we all love this movie, and they quote lines to me. I mean, they just love it.
Extremely quotable movie.
Yeah, very
it's one of the most quotable movies of all time.
Bill Goldman, smart guy.
Yeah.
And everybody tells stories of Andre the Giant and his drinking escapades.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you have many more stories.
Well, you know, people like to make fun of Andre's drinking only because he could drink vast amounts of alcohol in one sitting. But in fact, the guy was in a lot of pain. You know, he, over the years, first of all, carrying the weight that he had to carry, 450 pounds, people would bash chairs on his back in the ring. And so over the years, he got quite a great deal of punishment. And he had terrible back pain. And he was due to have an operation when the movie ended. But until that point, the doctors didn't know what do you give a medication to a giant? So they said to him, you know, you figure out a way to deal with the pain whichever way you can. So he decided to drink what he called the American. He let me sip it one day. I've never tasted airplane fuel, but I think it's pretty close to that. And I coughed and spat a lot of it out, and he thought that was very funny. But yeah, he was a sweet guy, an incredible guy. I mean, I miss him to this day. He was a really beautiful guy.
And I believe it was either the Today Show or Entertainment Weekly had you all together for a reunion.
That's right.
I remember
Do you still keep in touch after that?
Oh yeah, no, we're like an extended family now because of this film. We all feel connected in this wonderful way. Like I said, we all feel incredibly blessed, you know?
The actual process of laying out this book, like you said, so many stories, so many memories. Was it a matter of, getting people together and talking? Was it you laying it out and then checking back? How did you, an endeavor like this, how did you set out?
That's a good question, Ben. I've never written a book before, so it takes a village to write a book, I can assure you. I had enormous help from my publishers, Simon & Schuster, Touchstone. I co-wrote the book with this wonderful author, Joseph Layden. But I also managed to encourage the cast to be a part of the book, so I can't take all the credit for it. I called each one of the cast, I asked them if they wanted to be a part of it, and every single one of them said absolutely. So I feel unbelievably blessed. You know, it's going to be like, I think, the definitive book about the making of the film. And so I think fans will love it. I really do.
So I had to say, Ben, when he heard you were coming on, he was like freaking out because of Hot Shots.
Okay.
Since this is about a Princess Bride, is this the beginning of more books in the future?
That would be up to how good the sales are, Blake. You know, I can't predict anything at this point, but I certainly had fun writing it, so we'll see. Yeah.
Places like this, places like Comic-Cons, have you been to a lot of these? Is this one of your first?
I know I've been to a few, actually. Yeah. And, you know, what was great is that when the book first was announced, I went out and started campaigning to get the fans behind the book early on by going to a lot of Comic-Cons. So that was nice to connect with all of them personally and meet them and share how much fun I made, how much fun it was making the film and how much fun it was writing it. So yeah, that was really fun. Really fun.
What kind of receptions and what kind of reactions do you have when you're walking around stuff like Comic-Cons? Because obviously people are going to recognize you for a variety of things, I would imagine.
Yeah, you don't meet many sore Princess Bride fans who are, you know, it's usually one,
groups.
usually distinct demographics, but one or two, one or two. No, it's incredible. I mean, look, I meet folks who have lines from the movie tattooed all over their body. I meet families who've named all their kids after the characters from the film. I mean, you know, so it's quite extraordinary. And I feel, like I said, I feel blessed. It's like the gift that keeps on giving, this movie, you know?
Absolutely. Where can people learn more about what you're up to as well as the book? Where can they
Okay,
start
my Twitter feed is pretty accurate about what's going on with the book. The book is going to be in bookstores in 2 days.
Oh, wow.
But if people want to pre-order it and get a good discount price, they can go to Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. I think it's 37% off, which everyone likes a bargain, right?
I appreciate
and yeah, we're very proud. So far, the reception has been really, really positive.
And for New Yorkers, you'll be at Barnes & Noble tomorrow?
I will.
Signing?
Tomorrow at Union Square, 7 o'clock. If you want to come on down, I will sign those 3 words, you know the ones, in the book and personalize it for you. So,
Nice.
yeah.
It was great having you on the show.
Yeah,
This was
thank
really
you.
nice. It was really
Thank you
nice
so
to
much,
talk
Blake.
with you. And I'm
Thank
really
you.
excited. I'm
Thanks,
really
man.
excited to read this book. I'm really excited to keep following the stuff you're doing. And just
Thank you.
thanks for everything you've given to culture
Definitely.
for the
Thank
last 7 years.
I appreciate it.
Guys, it was a pleasure having Cary on Marvel Live, but we're not done. We'll be back in a little bit right here from New York Comic Con 2014.